Hey guys, Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with how I rate books. So I'm always confused by how others rate books, so I thought I would share how I rate books. I know some people go like, oh, this is a 4.75, and I'm like, really? I rate 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Sometimes I'm like, this is so close to a 5 that if I did have ratings, I do 4.5, but it's not really a 5, and so I give it a 4. I don't do like, if you do 4.75, I'm like, just make it a 5. Like, really? So I will discuss my thoughts. I wanted to make this video because there's a booktuber who was like, oh, I really love this book, I recommend it, 3 stars. And I'm like, what? So I thought I'd share with you what my definition of 3-star is and all the other stars I give books. So starting with the lowest, I actually get rid of all of my books. I'm going to have examples of books of I rate with each star rating, and I have forced myself that if it's lower than a 3-star, like even 3's pushing it, I need to get rid of it, because why am I keeping 1 and 2-star books? I was keeping them because I wanted to talk about them whenever I had to talk about books I didn't like, but that was pointless because I have too many books. So for a 1-star to me, I rarely give books 1 star. I was looking through my Goodreads list and I maybe have like 20 1-star reads in all the time since like 7 years I've read. And that is because 1 star to me has to be, I can't even finish this book, or if I finished it, I had to force myself to finish it. It was slow, it was boring, I had no care whatsoever for anything that was going on. And now mostly these for me were books like I was forced to read in school, in college, and like I totally did not get the book. I would not have picked it up myself. My most recent read was From Here to You by Jamie McGuire. This one, I literally could not force myself to finish. Now, more now so than before, I have been aware of how much I have to read and trying to not read books I know I'm not gonna like, and put down books when I'm like, I just can't. I used to hate DNFing books, and this one I just had to put it down because insta love to the like 10 millionth degree in this book. It was not what I thought it was about. The guy ended up being like kind of part of the FBI, and like you're waiting for a plot point to happen that you know is going to happen and it hasn't happened yet, and the author's just drawing it out. I could not finish this. I hated the main character. I just did not like anything about the book. So I gave it a 1 star. I can't finish it. I don't like anything about it. I would definitely not recommend buying this or reading it at all. For a 2-star, this means I did finish it, but too many things bothered me. So I don't have in my possession any 2-star reads recently, but like Drunk Dial by Penelope Ward. You guys know I read that book, and I gave it 2 stars because the main character was so annoying to me, so unbelievable to me. She was just a character that I myself am like 100% not like whatsoever, and she had no aspirations in life, because I don't remember, she like just graduated from college or something, and like she was really annoying. And if a book I like cannot stand getting through the book, I normally give it 2 stars. I got through it, but nothing about it was fun. I enjoyed no part of it. So that's really the difference between a 2 and a 1. 1, I literally could not finish or could not stand it, and I forced myself to finish, and a 2 is that I finished, but I did not enjoy any aspect of finishing that book. For a 3-star, so here's what's annoying to me. For my 3-star reads, that means that you probably should skip it. For me, if I go onto Goodreads and see some of my friends have rated a book 3 stars, I'm like, okay, I'm not picking that up right now, because 3 stars to me means it was just okay. So why would I want to read a book that's just okay? Books that have an average between a 3 and a 4 and they don't reach 4, I'm like, ooh, is that even a good book? So for me, that's like More Than Words by Sheridan. It was a good book, but I wasn't like in love with it. I'm like, okay, nice story. I don't have anything else to say. Sometimes it's a little slow. I like the characters. I like the story, but I'm like, oh, okay. Same thing happened with The Air He Breathes by Brittany C. Cherry. Oh, okay. That was nice. I wasn't like amazed. Like a lot of times this happens when they're overhyped for me. So this one was overhyped. I was expecting it to be 5 stars. And it was okay. So I think I might have given this a 4 on Goodreads, but it's definitely a 3-star read for me. I might bring that down. Because like, it was okay. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And that's a 3-star for me. So do I want to read books that are 3 stars to other people? No. And so when I say a book is a 3 star, then I'm like, oh, you should probably not read this. Like, if you want to and you think you might like it, sure, but I didn't love it, so I don't know if you should read it. That's what a 3 star is to me. So when I see booktubers like, oh my gosh, this book was so good, so atmospheric, I love the characters, I love the plot, 3 stars, you should read it. And a lot of times, I don't want to like say anything, but a lot of times it's about books that they are being sponsored to talk about. Not everyone, but I've noticed a trend, like they either, when they decide to read a book that they're paid to talk about, they rate it 3 stars, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, be honest with your feelings. Whenever I talk about a 3-star book, I'm like, I just really wasn't loving it, it was just okay, 3 stars. And so I normally have a more negative attitude towards a 3-star book when I talk about it on my channel because it was just okay, and I don't think you should read it. So if I see a 3-star book, I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna skip that one. For 4 stars, these are books that, yes, I definitely think you should read. There was just something about it that maybe was not what I wanted. So the one I can think about the most is for Ignite Me by Tara Mafi. I was obsessed with this series. I gave Shatter Me 5 stars, which I'll talk about my 5-star ratings in a second. But this one was not what I wanted out of a supposed series finale. So this was supposed to be a trilogy, and this was supposed to be the last book. There's even a letter in her in the end saying like, oh, I can't believe it's over, I hope you enjoyed this last book. Things didn't happen like I wanted to. It was kind of slow. It was still amazing, but there were some slow points. I wanted there to be more like action and like more challenge at the end than what there was, and so I gave it a 4 star. It was good. I would definitely recommend this series. I would recommend reading this book, but it was not everything I wanted it to be. And so 4 stars for me, they don't blow me away, but I still really love them, and there might be like 1 or 2 things that annoy me, or 1 or 2 things that I thought could have been better. So that's what a 4-star read is for me. 5 stars should be pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, it blows me out of the water. I'm like, oh my gosh, this was so good, you have to read it. If they're books that I'm like, you have to read, that's a 5-star read for me. Now, I will say I kind of rate a lot of things 5 stars. There are some people who like don't rate anything 5 stars. And I'm like, oh, okay. I might rate too many things 5 stars. But that's because I really like books that I read. If I'm into it, I really like it. I can't stop reading. I'm constantly thinking about it. That's Shatter Me was a 5-star read. I was like, oh my gosh, that blew me away. The second book blew me away. I'm like, I'm obsessed with these characters. Same with anything Penelope Douglas writes. Plunk 57, one of my favorite books of all time. If I had a 6-star rating, this would be a 6-star. Like, this would be above a 5-star. Birthday Girl is 5 stars. I was like, this is so good. Like, there's a forbidden romance and there's angst. Yeah, 5 stars. So 5 stars to me are really good reads that I definitely recommend you read. That includes like my all-time favorites and just books I really enjoyed. So maybe I should add another rating for like all-time favorites so that you know like this is a 6. Like this is like amazing. But I don't have a 6 because Goodreads doesn't have a 6, so I have a 5. But for 5s, it's like I just loved it. And so I feel like I'm generous with my stars because I like a lot of books that I read. And like other people rarely rate books 5 stars, and so they say 3 stars, awesome read. I'm like, but that's not a 3 to me. To me, a 3 is just mediocre. So like I know my friends who their rating, if they rated it a 3, I'm like, oh, maybe I should skip it. So those are my star ratings. Let me know how you rate your books. Am I too generous with my 5 stars? I want to know. Let me know, do I rate too many things 5 stars? I don't know. I rate a lot 5 stars. I think my average rating on Goodreads is like a 4 point something because I pick up books I think I'll like. I rarely rate anything 1 or 2. Mostly I rate 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, but you know from me, if it's 4 or 5, you should definitely read it. If it's a 3, you should probably skip it. But that's just the gist of what I do. So yeah, let me know how you rate your books, how you see other people rating them. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.